Now, this is the story all about how my bear deck got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute to sit right there, tell you how I added white and stormed off to Bell Bear. In West Dominaria, born and raised in the forest was where I spent most of my days. Had encounters, maxing, relaxing all cool, and playing bears and elves, taking opponents to school. When a couple of cards that were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight and Watsy got scared. They said, "You're adding white and starting off with Wilson to Bell Bear." How's it going, everybody? I'm Josh from Elder Drunken Highlander, and I'm coming to you with a deck tech video for Fresh Prince of Bell Bear, the latest iteration of my Ayula Bear obsession. If you couldn't tell from what I just said, this is a secret Commander Ayula deck, which means my Bear Queen Ayula is front and center as the way we try to win and the creature we tutor out the most frequently. It's the card that we always want to be going for in the end. It's our finisher, our queen, our ultimate piece. But to get there, it's easier if we draw a bunch of cards, and Wilson and Folk Hero, they say you get to draw an extra card each turn, which is way better than what most of our bears say, which is, well, nothing. This deck is very similar to the Ayula deck tech that we already have in the channel. It'll be up in the upper area up there somewhere when the video goes live. You can click on it if you haven't seen it already, but you should definitely watch it. It's one of my favorite videos in the channel. We're just trying to turbo out our commanders as quickly as possible, get to drawing cards, and then draw into our BEARSTORM combo. We're not on as many ways to draw built into the deck. We are on Beast Whisperer still because, well, he's just fantastic. And I like to imagine there's a bear in there among those animals with him. This is still very much a bears and elves / mana dorks tribal deck. We have a lot of things that are not bears to help supplement our bears. Great Oak Guardian, Ashaya, Teamer Sabertooth, Karametra's Acolyte. We're basically just playing a mono green storm deck, more or less. But the outlet is the bears. Look at them. They're so wonderful. They're so great. And it's super, super cool. And a lot of these pieces that I'm showing you right now at the top end don't really come down until I'm trying to win. Or in the case of something like Karametra's Acolyte or Teamer Sabertooth, enable the bears to pop off anyway. I want Teamer Sabertooth in the battlefield to protect my bears and also give me more bear ETBs for Wilson and Ayula. This card's sick. It's a big cat friend. Cats and bears, they don't really like each other, but that's okay. We can pretend that it's helping us out here. It's really nice to be able to just get ETBs for Ayula every single turn with this guy. Oh, and then also win. We also have a lot of elves, stuff like Circle of Dreams Druid, and all of our 1 mana elves help us really power out our commander. And then of course the changelings. Some of the bears are just a little bit too bad to run, and I want bears as low cost as possible. So any low cost changelings, I gobble it right up. The other nice thing about Wilson is he's a warrior too, which means I can run some cool warriors in the deck that help everything out. Duskwatch Recruiter makes things rather smooth, helping me put more bears into my hand to help me cast the bears and then draw the cards to find Ayula quicker. And then Crawl Harpooner just kills stuff. Another nice advantage to being able to add white with Folk Hero is I get to run this wonderful bear. Oh yeah, instant speed removal bear. Instant speed cards are especially good because the Folk Hero restriction is once per turn, which means being able to flash something out or bring out something like Crib Swap makes things way easier for me. This means this 3 mana Vivian, which was kind of fringe in the mono green Ayula deck, I was mostly on it only because it helped me get more bears into my hand. Really helps in the Folk Hero version, allowing me to flash out bears when it's not my turn to draw even more cards per turn cycle. She also has a bear in the art. Look at her. It's amazing. This is my favorite deck of all time, and I'm really proud of it. I take it with me every bear, and I'm in the process of blinging it out. I think I'm only missing a few foil cards, like Cloudstone Curio, Nykthos, and Priest of Titania, a few other really expensive ones. White also allows us to run Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares, and Generous Gift on top of our Beast Within that we're already running. 2 Arms is another sweet way to untap our mana dorks and also cantrip us, and allows us a nice little combo with Eternal Witness, Teamer Sabertooth, 2 Arms, and dorks, eventually drawing us into Ayula and another bear to do the thing. And Eladamri's Call is another sweet addition to this deck from the mono green version, allowing us to search for, well, you guessed it, Ayula. Eternal Witness is much more important in this deck too, because when Ayula dies, I need other ways to get her back. So Ella Domri's Call is really good in getting stuff like Eternal Witness as well. I have a lot of other tutors in this deck that before served to get things like Beast Whisperer, that now get Ayula and then Eternal Witness, usually in that order. If people exile Ayula, we do have other ways to win. They're just awkward and weird, and I don't really like them as much. Also, being able to get creatures out to fight stuff is, well, like, better in the early game to mid game than it is in the combo stuff. In the playing power video where I play this deck, I get Ayula out rather late because I was getting beaten to death and I was trying not to die. So it's not really a good representation of how this deck normally plays. Normally I'm trying to get Ayula out like turn 5 and then just start making bears big and beating things down for a little bit while I stall and assemble the kind of combo that I'm trying to use to win. That doesn't always happen when you're on the back foot though. I want to give a big shout out to Jeweled Lotus here for producing enough mana with 1 land to cast both my commanders. Folk Hero is a commander, even though it's not a creature, which always gets me. It's really funny. So I can make double green with Jeweled Lotus to pay for Wilson, and then 1 green left over, and my 1 white land to tap for Folk Hero. Although usually it's the other way around, because when I get to the lands, you'll see. I don't have a lot of ways to make white because there's not a lot of white cards in the deck. So there's like 3 plains and then a couple dual lands, and that's about it besides the fetches. So I have 11 forests, and if I don't get one of these other things, then I just don't have a way to make white, which really isn't that big a deal. It hasn't been a problem for me so far, at least. Back to enchantments though, we're running Bear Umbra because, like, how could I not? It's so good. Wilson with Ward 2 and the Bear Umbra totem armor makes him way stronger. It's really hard to beat down Wilson with a Bear Umbra. It's sick. Guardian Project is still in here because it's just nice to be able to draw even more cards. I still have the classic Allurin, which is sweet. I got my copy of Allurin for, if you just allow me to brag for a second, I got my copy of Allurin for $20 because someone spilled soda on it. And it's like kind of grody looking, but it's definitely still sleeve playable, and that just makes me very happy. There's no way. I don't want to pay $60 for this card. Nuh-uh. Words of Wilding is even better with Wilson because when you play a bear, you can pay a mana and get a bear. It's redonk. It's awesome. It's actually my favorite part of this deck, straight up my favorite part of the deck. You play a bear, you pay 1 extra mana and get a bear. That's 2 2/2s for 3 mana. That's actually like good. That's like playable. That's like decent. Drawing a card is kind of better still, unfortunately, but if you have other sources to draw, it's just sweet to be able to get more bears. Ugh, I love bears so much. I was going to move on, but I'm actually going to keep ranting about this card and how awesome it is. I have like all the various different bear tokens. I've collected most of them. So every time I play this card, I try to put every single different bear token on the battlefield. I want even like that nasty, disgusting onslaught bear. There it is. Ugh. We have Cryptolith Right, which allows us to turn all of our bears into mana dorks for something like Great Oak Guardian or 2 arms to let us win. We have Sylvan Live Berry because, well, you just heard why. It's a pun. I ended up cutting Wild Growth from the deck, but Utopia Sprawl is in because it's still really good with Arbor Elf and also Ashaya. So what is the BEARSTORM combo exactly? Well, it's a bunch of different things. Various combos that result in infinite mana into infinite Enter the Battlefield triggers, into having Ayula come into play, into those infinite Enter the Battlefield triggers making Ayula very big, and then letting her fight everything. And then I spam cast a Beast Within or a Generous Gift and kill everyone's permanents, and then I fight those permanents that are now beasts with Ayula again, and then they all die, and then I finale Devastation X equals 10 and send my whole team in to attack and kill everybody, and that's the BEARSTORM combo. There's a bunch of ways to get infinite mana in here. You can Cryptolith Right all your bears and then tap them for a bunch of mana, put a Great Oak Guardian to play, untap them all, and then return that with Temur Sabertooth, and then or Cloudstone Curio and a Dork, and then keep doing that. You can also use Eternal Witness and something like Benefactor's Draught or 2 arms to do that. You can also use Ashaya to make all of your stuff tap for mana and do the same thing. You can use an individual creature too, just like Circle of Dreams Druid with your Temur Sabertooth and a way to give it haste, such as your Swiftfoot Boots or your Lightning Greaves. I thought about putting Concordant Crossroads in this deck, but I don't want to enable my opponents to beat me down because they know I'm on combo. Once you have infinite mana, you can use a tutor or a draw outlet to find Ayula Queen Among Bears. Ayula allows you to get infinitely big, fight everything, and then you can use Eternal Witness with your Temur Sabertooth to get yourself a removal spell such as Generous Gift or Beast Within, kill everyone's permanents, kill everyone's beasts, and then go in there for the win. That's it. That's the BEARSTORM combo. So you're playing bears as the value engine / enabler to get you to the combo pieces. The combo pieces, admittedly, largely are not bears. But then the finisher is bears, and the way you attack everyone to win is with gigantic bears mauling everyone to death. This is my attempt to make bears as strong as they can possibly be without doing like some kind of disgusting stacks thing that makes everyone pissed off at me. I still want them to be cool. But I wanted to do some kind of crazy, ridiculous thing with bears that makes them as strong as they can possibly be. That's it. That's what we're doing. That's the entire deck. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more of our stuff, you should boost our channel, give us a like, give us a comment, give us an opinion on what you thought about the video, what you thought about the deck, what you thought about, I don't know, the weather. How is the weather on your day? Tell me. We also have a Patreon if you wanted to support us that way, and we have a Discord where we brew ridiculous decks like this one. We have an Ayula channel dedicated just to this deck and other bear nonsense. You can check it out and see all of the bear brews that we're barely brewing. Lastly, we have a Twitter if you want to follow us for shit posting and or talking shit. That's it. That's all I gotta say for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay janky, my friends. Hope the video wasn't too unbearable.